If you're a parent or you work with children, you need to know about the 4 pillars of applied educational neuroscience. Each pillar builds on the other one before, giving us this well-rounded understanding of what's happening in our bodies and in our children's bodies in moments of dysregulation and stress. And this gives us the understanding that we need to respond in ways that are helpful to the situation instead of making it worse. So the first pillar is the adult nervous system. As the adult, it's our job to be aware of and care for our own selves, our own nervous system. We need to be aware of the stress load that we carry and its impact on the children around us. We need to know how to release that stress in healthy ways. When we're activated, it is our job to find the support that we need so that we can be present to the kids in our care. A dysregulated adult can never regulate a dysregulated child. And that brings us to the second pillar of applied educational neuroscience, which is co-regulation. When we've supported our own nervous system, we can communicate that safety and regulation to the children around us. Children subconsciously sense our nervous system state. So when we're steady, they pick that up. And then we can actually use our body language, our facial expressions intentionally to communicate safety. When children feel safe, they move from that survival part of their brain to the executive part of their brain where they can learn and problem solve. The third pillar of AEN is touch points. We need to build in small moments of connection with our children throughout the day. Touch points are like proactive moments of co-regulation. They bring safety to a child's nervous system preemptively. So if you're a teacher, yes, that starts with greeting your students when they come in the door, but we go beyond that and prioritize moments throughout the day of eye contact, getting down on their level, noticing something important to that child and connecting with them over that. When children feel seen by and connected to the adults around them, it grounds them and they can rest in that connection. The fourth pillar, the language of the nervous system, brings all these pillars together. When we can actually teach children about their nervous system and how their brain and body communicates through their sensations, then they can begin to tune into those sensations and understand how to meet their needs for safety and connection. So recently, in the middle of a week full of transitions and stress, I realized that I was beginning to feel that heat rise in my body, tension in my chest. I almost reacted as my daughter did the exact opposite of what I was asking her to do, but I was able to pause, to step out of the room, and then I began counting backwards from 20 while stretching and shaking out my arms. Then I took several deep breaths. And when my daughter eventually came over, I was able to greet her warmly and share that I was feeling activated and I was feeling tension and I needed a break. And she actually said that she felt the same way. And she said that she wanted to read a book together. So we cuddled up and we read several books together and we just felt that steadiness. It just brought us both back to that upstairs part of our brain. And you can see how through this story, I went first in regulating my nervous system, and then I was able to co-regulate and bring in intentional connection. We were able to also share with each other what was happening for us, what was happening in our bodies, and what we were needing in that moment. When we begin implementing these pillars in our homes and classrooms, we begin to see the nervous system state underneath the behavior. We have a common language that's void of shame, and we understand that we set the tone as the adult.